Hello and welcome to another week in the Nigerian Parliament. This is the Gavel and I am Terry Ikumi. Now, while senators are enjoying their holiday, the House of Representatives is unusually alive with committee engagements, one of which is the Committee on Youth Development, which met with the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Yushau Ahmed. The NYSC DG assured the lawmakers that the kidnapped corps members in Zamfara State would be released soon. And the committee on its part directed the NYSC DG to visit the families of the kidnapped corps members within 7 days. Take a listen.
Federal Constituency.
The House of Representatives Committee on Youth Development and the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps met on Thursday over the abduction of 8 corps members in Zamfara State. The incident happened on their way to Sokoto State for their call-up on the 19th of August this year. On the 20th of September, the NYSC DG announced that one of the corps members had been released, with the other 7 still in captivity.
Apart from what the brigade commander is doing, which is not going to be too wise to disclose here, they have gone far. The DSS, equally. This morning, it is on daily basis that I receive briefing from them. Or let me say, they told me they always tell me what they're doing. This morning, I have spoken with the Director DSS on what effort they are made of and where we are. We spoke last with the brigade commander the night yesterday. The emir, we spoke with him day before yesterday. Even the senator representing Safe local government, I spoke with him yesterday night. Some of the religious group, the leader, I spoke with him. I was in a meeting yesterday. He called almost 10 times. To sum it all, we are on it. And I want to assure the House members, God's willing, we will get these prospective corps members out.
Think about a rehabilitation program for these corps members when they come back, because trauma is real. By the time they come back now, to mix up becomes a problem. Some of them may not even be able to travel.
It's over a month now since the incident, and there are concerns among Nigerians regarding the safety of corps members owing to insecurity in some parts of the country, with some calling for the cancellation of the scheme and others believing that an amendment to the NYC Act will make the National Youth Service Scheme more impactful. The lawmakers seized the opportunity to raise questions around the safety and welfare of corps members.
Sometimes ago, because of insecurity nationwide, there are some states that NYSC are not longer posting corps members. But recently, we understood that NYSC are posting all over the state. So I don't know what measures have you put in place that, gave you that confidence to post people back to that areas. And as my honorable chairman rightly pointed out, we are aware that there are some states, especially in the north.
I also want to know if there is any effort to increase allowance of corps members, because you go to some communities, most schools in those communities rely solely on corpus.
The NYSC DG, in its response to the lawmakers, gave us assurances as the committee reached a resolution.
We don't post corps members to insecure places. Even though we post them to Zamfara State, there are areas that are safe. There are areas that are adjudged to be troublesome areas. We always give warning to our state coordinators. Any area that is adjudged to be security threat, to have security threat there, we don't send our corps members there. Even the Maiduguri that we don't close our camp for the past 13 years, we send corps members there. But we select places that are safe and free for this corps member to serve. I must tell you, even if you say no corps member to go to state A, you will see requests from the youth that I want to go to that state A to serve. So we will not stop them from going. But the only thing, we limit them to areas where we are sure it is safe to a larger extent. Corps members are insured. From the day they pick up their call letter, they report in the camp, till the day they pass out. We have insurance for them. On the plan, if we have any, to increase the allowances of the corps members, yes, sir. With the current development, we are following how situation is unfolding. Definitely, by the time the federal government will announce the increment or the minimum wage for the workers, we believe NYSC will also be catered for.
Is this the wish of the Committee on Youth Developments that the NYSC management team visits the families of the abductees, the kidnapped corps members, as a way to empathize with them within 7 days? Those in favor of this resolution say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Now, the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee, which is investigating the disposal of public property, has issued a warning to the Nigeria Customs Service after the agency once again ignored its summons. Chairman of the committee, Professor Julius Ihobere, who is also the House leader, warns that whatever games the Nigeria Customs Service is playing will catch up with the agency soon, as it must appear before it. Take a listen, just as the committee also expressed dissatisfaction with the disposal of public property by the Nigerian Ports Authority. This ad hoc committee of the House of Representatives is investigating the disposal of public property by government agencies to ensure that they conform with the law. The committee meets with the Nigeria Ports Authority and questions the authenticity of the values placed on some of the items it auctioned.
The Act provides very clear procedures for disposal of public assets. Very clear. The auctioneers have also assisted us by presenting a document. What we are asking for is that you have an asset you want to dispose of. It is not our business, it is your decision. But we want to know, when was this purchased? For how much? And how much are you selling it for? So we know if we're getting value for money. That's number one. Number two, in your case, you appoint the auctioneers yourself. Not so? Okay. And I see a very long list, including those that were not pre-qualified towards the end of your presentation. But as we are starting off, we are not getting that information for the presentation, unless it is in another page, and it will be kind to ask you to refer to us to that page.
Now, you've showed us the list of auctioneers that you appointed. There's nothing, I've gone through this document. I want to see where you showed the valuers that valued what you have auctioned. I've not seen anywhere valuers were mentioned. Even before you condemn an asset, there should be a valuer that could have valued it to either put it as a condemned item or an auctionable item. There's nowhere you listed the valuers that valued these assets that you have auctioned. And I know that MPA, by my last check, is under the supervision of Ministry of Transport. I've not seen in your document where the parent ministry sought for an approval for what you have auctioned or that says. So we cannot say here to determine whether you have gone to auction things that are relevant, things that are still important for the agency, because there is no supervisor. Why I'm saying this, Mr. Chairman, in the Ninth Assembly, I served as the Chairman Justice. All that happened with the Ministry of Justice in what they auctioned and acquired government property, even the FCC. Before that was done, they will send the list to EFCC, will send the list to the ministry. The ministry will have a copy to the National Assembly. So far, all those items were purchased with government funding.
We had a communication with Foreign Ministry of Transport at the time, who now communicated with the Ministry of Works to value these assets. Yeah, I came with it, sir.
The committee is dissatisfied with the submissions of the NPA.
You can see that for the attachment number 1, we have a receipt. We have receipts of payment, and based on the remitter that was generated by Nigerian Post Authority, we have a receipt of payments. So technically, with the receipt of payments, it means payment has been made, and once the payment has been made, then the winning or the winner of the bid is able to carry out the asset with the supervision of the disposal committee indeed. So that's attachment number 1. Like I said, the covering memo from the Nigerian Post Authority made reference to attachments 1 to 5. Now, regarding attachment number 2, is the same process. Appointment of an auctioneer for the disposal of wrecked vessels in our ports, the piloted district, which the same process takes place. With when you see the list on the second page. I'm now making reference to attachment number 2, sir. List of properties slated for auction from 2010 to 2022. Evaluation reports and name of registered valuers involved, including their report. How do we know somebody assisted you, an independent person, told you that this thing is worth 2 naira? That's the value. 3. Government approvals, including Office of BPP, BPE, Federal Executive Council, including certificates of no objection where necessary. Evidence of remittances into the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Detailed procedures for disposal of those assets. Publications. We must see it. Bidding, selection, auctioning, any other information that will assist us. But it's not in this thing. It's not here. If it is, that is not relevant to us. If it is not here, this is the document we're working with, and this is what we will attach to our report. But we cannot attach it and refer to a document that you have excluded. So we are going to give you time. Please look at what we asked for and some of the questions we have raised here, and number the pages appropriately. That way we can flow with you. Okay? And then you bring it back on Monday.
As the hearing wraps up, the committee chairman furiously issues a warning to the Nigeria Customs Service, which has failed to honor its invitations and summons.
Customs is not here, and I have made my comments about them, that they will not get away with this arrogance of power they think they have. They are not more powerful than the National Assembly. And when the call comes to become, we shall know who is who. If they are playing a game to delay until substantive committees begin to sit, they will be joking. This is the leader of the House chairing this ad hoc committee, and a report must be produced to the National Assembly. This committee will not be discharged. We will finish our work and present it accordingly.
The investigation continues as the committee is also concerned about the failure of some other agencies to attend the investigative hearing as it approaches the time for the submission of its report to the entire House. Welcome back to the Gavel. Let's take a look at some of the engagements of the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the past week.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, says the increase in the number of House standing committees from 109 to about 137 was to increase the level of efficiency of the oversight functions of the House. Speaker Abbas stated this during an interactive session with members of the House of Representatives Press Corps, where he informed the journalists that the House also decided to set up a committee that will monitor the activities of the committees. He assures of transparency and results.
The State Assembly has brought on board revolutionary that will not only help our efficiency in the House, but will also give a value addition to the country. One of them is the creation of a standing committee to monitor the activities of all standing committees of the House. You will agree with me, in the past, not all committees were active. You find some were active, some were not. Maybe because of one thing or the other. This time around, we want to ensure that every standing committee lives to its responsibility. It is not out of place from time to time for committees to resort to executive session so that issues that are highly confidential and sensitive should not be divulged before the completion of the investigation.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of the House of Representatives has called for more trade and technological relationships between Nigeria and the Republic of South Korea, particularly in the areas of energy and mining. Right Honorable Abbas made the call when a delegation from South Korean Embassy to Nigeria and the 21st National Assembly of the Republic of South Korea visited him at his office in Abuja.
I also want to call on your parliament, being a much older democracy established since 1948, to collaborate or to continue to collaborate with our legislators in areas of legislation so that we can broaden our knowledge of legislation that will further improve the economic ties of our two countries. I also want to further call for the increase in the promotion of business opportunities, including organizing trade fairs and exhibitions, and encourage Korean companies to further invest in Nigeria's mining sector, renewable energy, steel, and petroleum industry. I would also want to assure you that the focus of the present Nigerian government, and indeed the 10th House of Representatives, is to strengthen these economic ties between Nigeria and South Korea to achieve the fourth industrial revolution in technology, development, and transfer.
This week on Constituency Focus, we hear from Honorable Afam Ogene, who represents Ogbaru Federal Constituency of Anambra State in the House of Representatives, as we find out how he intends to engage with members of his constituency in the next 4 years. What are the needs of his people, and how does he intend to meet these needs?
As somebody representing Ogbaru Federal Constituency, which is actually a riverine community, Ogbaru is made up of 15 indigenous communities, and we lie on the banks of the Great River Niger. My people are predominantly farmers of yam, cassava, vegetables, and other food crops. But the major challenge that they have is poor access roads. In fact, the only major road that connects all of these 15 communities and linking up to the border with River State is the Onitsha or Somala, Onitsha Atani or Somala Ogwibele Road. And that road was done halfway during the time of former Governor Peter Obi. Ever since, it's been a little push and shove here and there. But incidentally, oil exploration has been going on in two communities of Ogwibele and Ogwanyocha, which makes Anambra an oil-producing state. So the state right now is earning revenue from the 13% derivation, but the roads are simply not there for the people to move out. In fact, the oil company had to create pipelines and collect to the side of the delta. So they actually take this oil across the river to the delta area. So I'm calling on government to also, at the subnational level, the state level, and the federal level, to synergize and ensure that this road is done. This is one major need of my constituent. The next would be the fact that as a coastal federal constituency, this seasonal flooding, affects my community so much so that bungalows, you only see the rooftops. is as bad as that. And so I'll also be pushing for holding centers. Each year they ask people to go upland. Upland to where? There is no provision made for people to move out of the villages and come upland. But I'm sure that if we have 3 or 4 holding centers that could take especially men, women and children during such period, because it has almost come to stay that each year we lose about 3-4 months to flooding. So you can imagine floods that cover rooftops. So nobody would actually be staying there. And it's a hard time getting to undertake that kind of movement. So if the government provides us with holding centers, large halls, take it up, and then people from the catchment areas could easily move there while the period lasts. So basically, those are 2 major issues that confront us. The oil exploration, which also devastates our environment. And so I'm calling on the government that whatever they are doing with regards to community participation in oil production, they should factor in the various communities of Obaru, because they are also all negatively impacted. My plans is to always be their voice. And that I've started, because if you don't say you are here, nobody would remember to say you are at that particular point. So, given my own background as a journalist, I've offered to be the voice of the people, which I've been doing even in my first incarnation as a legislator in 2011. I was publishing community newspapers. Already I've started a radio program for them, which has employed about 5 youths. So employment is key too for people in my area. The fishes are dried up because of the environmental degradation I told you about. So it's my remit to always look out for job opportunities for them, to assess the various grants and loans available to improve on their farming. And then we're also encouraging skills acquisition. In my first tenure, I did that, ran a semi-organized technical institution. I intend to go back to that in different trades, be it dressmaking, phone repairs, barbing, confectionaries, well, whatnot. We had about 11 trades that we engaged in, and this time around we would do similar thing. The road that I told you about coming into Obaru got so dilapidated that even vehicles, the crater could swallow vehicles. We had to do palliative work on the road, even though it's not our duty. But because we intend to make life easier for our people, I spent 5 million naira getting just hardcore blocks to fill those spots, which the people have seen us do. Then we have a scholarship scheme, which I don't almost like to talk about, because when you do some form of charity, even when I'm not in office, I do that. So it's something we'll continue with on a larger scale, different from the number I had as a private citizen.
And that's the Gavel this week. Thanks for your time. Catch us again next week as the National Assembly resumes plenary on the 26th of September. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.